All right. Welcome to the Captain's Vlog. It is the Curious Captain's Vlog. It is January 19th. I haven't recorded since January 11th, so I was downstairs. We have a guest in for the weekend, and I was like, let me go record. I need to get on here and record. I've been doing very little actual coding or anything like that, and a whole lot of video watching. I love YouTube. It is well worth it for me to pay for YouTube Premium. I don't know, it's like $7 a month, and it's worth it. It's not as ideal, clearly, as actually doing the thing, but it's better than nothing. And that's what I've been doing. I watched actually one that was about Claude skills. I haven't even at all dabbled in Claude. I have a Claude account. It's the free one. And we know when you do the free stuff, it's never as good as the paid thing. And I tried the free thing and it's just like, I didn't like it. And I was so like, oh, I'm so locked into ChatGPT that I just haven't gone and tried more. And also I'm the type of person that the more people are like talking about it, the less I want to do it. And like, it's just everywhere in my threads feed and it's everywhere like Claude Code is the best. So here I am not using Claude. But I am watching things and staying dialed in with that, or rather in that way. I just watched an interview today. My guy Kay sent me an interview with Levi, how to say it, Arnovitz. He's a non-technical PM. He works at Meta, though, seemingly. And I was like, what in the fuck is happening? What? But he went through his workflow, and he uses Claude. Wow. He uses Claude Code inside of Cursor. And I was like, okay, I can watch this. I like this because I really like Claude. I really like Cursor. And his start was with ChatGPT, and he called himself a project power user. And I was like, yes, that is me. This is 100% how I love to use ChatGPT projects, and their instructions are the shit. Which then did make me be like, okay, like if you were like this and now you're moving it over into Claude, like I can see that this would be something that maybe I would like. But every time I watch it, it just still does, it feels everything's in markdown files. And I'm like, but where do they live? I have to be able to see it. My brain doesn't really understand. But anyway, the interview with him and you seeing his success, like there's a certain type of person that will succeed in this role. They're able to ask good questions. They are process oriented. They see how things fit together. They are not afraid to try things and iterate and learn as they go. And while they do move fast, there is still learning along the way. It's not just like move fast, totally forget this. He seemingly does a really good job of making sure he leaves breadcrumbs within Claude as he's going, so like things won't happen again, and so he can like be learning along the way. And I was like, yeah, I totally resonate with this, but it definitely is a certain type of person that can step into this. And I think it feels to me like there's definitely some level of being okay not knowing 100%, or even a larger percent of what's going on with the actual code, and just being like, it built this thing, like I understand the process and this with this, but like I don't know actual code. And like, to me, I think I'm okay with not knowing it. I really think what I'm not okay with is I'm not secure that it won't go away. And it's just like you build this whole like business, whatever, around this technology that if it goes away, you're like, but I can't build it all now. Although I guess, you would then be able to partner with, people that actually can code, but it's just like, you have to be so secure, like it's not going away. Which, there's so much money in it that it's not. But still, there's just like some sort of fragility to me that I really makes me nervous. But yeah, that's a lot of the stuff that I've been watching. On my actual like tech side, I'm keeping Supabase alive. What happens is if you have like no calls or you don't push anything or pull anything from it, rather, it will go like dormant. I can't remember the actual word that they said, but they send a little email out and it's like, we looked through our stuff, and in order to keep costs low and be efficient, we're going to shut this down. And I was like, wait, what? So I have to like send a call to it every so often. And I did see some stuff on Reddit about like setting things up that it'll do it automatically. And I was like, it's really simple. I can just like go into that med tracker app and just hit quick dose, whatever. And why? 'Cause I want to keep that thing alive. I really like that thing that I made there, but I don't want to pay for the database yet, which I guess I could look to see like for a free one that would stay like open without paying, but it's fine. Actually, I don't mind, especially they send an email out. It's like not a big deal. And it's cool to understand what's happening. And I'm like, I don't freak out. I got that email. I don't freak out. I got an email about a token for GitHub, and went through with chat to like understand exactly what was going on with this. And I don't even remember creating that, but like being able to feel secure and it's like, it's not broken, I can fix this, or I don't need this, is a really nice feeling for me. So that's that. Claude Cowork just came out. I don't have it because I don't use Claude, and it's only available to like their $100 a month whatever user. But Claude Cowork is basically Claude Code for like, I guess, the more normie person, the more average person. It seems like that it gives you like a better like user interface, and I think there's some more. I don't know. I want to use the word guardrails. That's not really the word that I'm looking for, but the goal is to bring this amazing technology, Claude Code, to more people. Which to me, the most interesting thing is I like to look at the financial side, like the business model, the business side of things, and one, I wonder how much people are spending per month because I'm like, I see things on threads and people are like blowing through their spend and complaining about Claude, and then I talk to Kay and he's like, I've never had an issue with it. So I'm like, I'm going to believe him because I actually know him. But I wonder how much people are spending on these things per month. But it is really interesting in this for me to look at the financial side and listen to the financial side of things and think about the financial side of things, because it doesn't feel like a great business move to me. Like I'm all about like niche down. And when I see companies trying to like go wider, I'm like, yeah, you want more. It's like, it's like an M&A there, and like you want more. And then you start to go this way, things get diluted, and they're crushing with enterprise. And so I'm kind of wondering, I'm like, why are we doing this? But what do I know? But speaking of enterprise and the financial side, I watched the podcast today, the OpenAI podcast. Man, they've been the weirdest people out there. Fucking weird. They're fucking weird. My podcast is ChatGPT Curious, and I strategically and intentionally went with ChatGPT because it's a household name, right? They have the market, and I wanted it to be searchable, but like the company is full of fucking weird people. And so it was with the OpenAI CFO. Her name is Sarah Fryer. And then I guess the other guy that was some investor, Vinod Khosla. Maybe if you're watching this, you're like, how do you not know who that guy is? I don't fucking know who he is. But you just sit there, and sometimes I watch things just to kind of like get vibes about people and people that are in the company. I'm like, man, OpenAI seems like a kind of a company that they be getting high in their own supply. And then just telling everybody, it's the best. We're doing the best. We're making the best. There's so much opportunity. And I'm like, you're high on your own supply. You are high on your own supply. But it is nice to hear from me. It is nice to hear all the angles. It's just interesting to me. And when you think about all the angles, it's like, I don't really care about predicting things and being like, oh, I'm right. It's just interesting to see all of these different things. And I like to observe, and it's a bit of a different place than I've been with like, my background with physical therapy, and then my background with online business. Whereas with this, like, I'm new to this and I'm a user of this, but I'm learning this. So I'm in the tech side of things with Threads. And if you're there, Threads is saying that Claude has changed everything. Everything has changed. It's like, it's changed the game. It's never going to be the same. It's the best discovery ever. OpenAI CFO says OpenAI is winning everything, including enterprise. And I'm like, are you? I'm pretty sure Claude is winning everything. And there's so much possibility. There's so much potential. Just, it's amazing. We're going to get to AGI. And I'm like, what? Venture capitalists are out here saying the jobs are going to be gone in 15 years and everything's going to be commoditized. And then they have the average person that's like, no idea what anything is. They're not using anything. They're like, maybe have heard of ChatGPT, but they think it's really weird. And they think that it uses 97,000 bottles of water for a single question. And you're like, the disconnect, the siloing, and just really being in your own silo and just like, And obviously I listen to the financial guys that are like, we have a huge bubble, which I do believe. And it was interesting to listen to, my camera's being weirder. It was interesting to listen to the OpenAI, I just changed the color of the screen. Oh, well. It was interesting to listen to the OpenAI podcast today because the venture capitalist, or what's his name, Vinod, was just so adamant about the possibility and the potential and how much room and leeway, like how much runway there still is, and that we're not in a bubble, and bubbles should be, based on actual usage, not like, what financial folks are saying, which is a lot of that is based on vibes and predictions. And it should be, he didn't say it should be based on API calls, but he kept bringing up API calls. And it was just interesting to just listen to all the different perspectives, and what everyone's got their own best interests at heart, seemingly, or they just have their own lenses that they see things through. So, nice part for me, I am able to keep up. I am way more able to keep up with the conversations that I'm watching, and I understand what's going on. Even simple things like markdown files, right? Like everything builds on itself when you're learning these things and getting exposed to these things. The first time I was exposed to a markdown file was Kay, I think, said it in one of his courses, but then I was making, I think maybe before that, I was making a custom GPT, and I asked it to like give me a framework for this. I asked Chat to give me a framework for this, and one of the things it said is like make markdown files because it's easier for the computer to read, for the program to read. And then I was like, what the fuck is a markdown file? And so learning that, and it's like now understanding what these things are, and you're just like, it becomes a part of your vocabulary and a part of your understanding of things is really nice. Right? The episode that I just watched from the guy that works for Meta, and he was basically talking about how things like Lovable and Replit, they fall short, and how they're marketed to the public, but like if you don't have the ability to choose what you want to be doing, and it makes sense because it's like an automatic versus like a manual, and you're like, well, you don't know how to do this, and so we're just going to make this thing easy for you. But if you're like trying to go and do some complex driving somewhere, like you want to have that manual control of things, and so then it'd be better to use something like, in this case, Cursor, using Claude through Cursor, talking about codecs and things like that. But just like understanding why he said what he means by that and why he's saying that, and I'm like, that's really cool to me. And so there is still learning going on, and it's like I haven't stalled, but I don't even know if I ever said this in this vlog. Like my goal is in putting this out, is for like my own ability to look back on this. Will I ever look back at it? I don't know, but I'm like pretty sure I'm going to put these on YouTube, and if they're helpful for anybody, amazing. And I want to encourage folks and like letting like even if you're not able to like be coding every fucking day, like you're still learning, and it's still in there, and it's nice to even just watching these YouTube videos, because it like kind of keeps things in there, especially when something's new, like you need the repetition with it. And if you like go and do it and then you never talk about it again, you're just like, wow, I almost forgot that. So it's nice to have these conversations with Kay, and be able to pull some of the information. So like I was talking to him about imperative versus declarative programming, which I had learned before, and then we were talking about agents and like how I'm like, that's like very similar in concept there. So if you're watching this and you're like, it's going to take so long, probably, but also I don't have that much time. Okay, cool. Just do stuff when you can, and then do other things when you can. Listening to podcasts has been hugely helpful, and it's just like that little reminder of like these words and these concepts coming up again. I get a little bit of exposure to that and creating some familiarity. So next steps for me, I want to get through that next JS course. I think the next, I think what it has you do, because the first one was like the React course. The next one for Next.js is actually going through Next.js, and I believe you build a static site, which will be nice to like get back into things and be building some stuff. So I would like to get in and do that course. It is very extensive, that course, so I might jump around. We will see. I'm still super resistant for whatever reason to using Claude Code, like I said earlier, probably because everyone's talking about it, and I'm like, no. But at some point, I will. I do, like I said, need to get back to building. I do want to get back to building, so ideally that'll happen with going through Next.js. I probably should explore codecs as well, since I really like ChatGPT. So I need to get into codecs and see what's going on with that. The ultimate goal is to have a use case for someone. I'm like constantly ears out, like, do you need me to build something? Do you need something built? Like, can I build something? But nothing yet. But that would be the ultimate. But besides that, I got to get this thing up on YouTube and start promoting it on Threads, let people know that it does exist. For no other reason than like I am a teacher by trade. I like making content. Like it's just who I am, how I am, and so I'm pretty sure we're going up on the YouTubes. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, maybe leave a comment, a nice one, please. But we'll see. All right, that is all that I got for today. Wanted to get on here, just give a little update and some accountability to myself, to keep on going with this, and you will see where it goes. All right, that's all I got for you. Maestro,